Hey man, welcome to the Eric J. the Great podcast show, man. Gonna do a quick episode today on, my NBA Finals prediction, man. NBA Finals start tomorrow, 2022 NBA Finals, man. We got the Golden State Warriors and the Boston Celtics. This is what I predicted, after the first round of playoffs, I predicted these two teams to meet up. I didn't expect Brooklyn to get beat the way they did by Boston. Once I seen that, I was like, yeah, Boston got a chance to go to the finals this year. But this is going to be a real entertaining series. I think it's a pick 'em series as far as, you know, both teams match up evenly well, man. You got, you know, with the guards, you got defense player of the year, Marcus Smart, matched up with Curry. Then you got Jaylen Brown with Klay Thompson. And then you got Andrew Wiggins with Jason Tatum, Draymond Green with Al Horford, and then you got Robert Williams with Looney, or if the Warriors decide to go small, really depending on what the lineup is. But, both of them can go deep in the bench. They got real good role players. Golden State, they got Jordan Poole coming off the bench, Pritchard coming off the bench for uh for Boston. You got Greg Williams. He's a good three-point shooter, big man, plays good defense. I think this series is going to come down to experience. Boston is very capable of beating the Golden State Warriors. Let me make that clear. But if you're asking me to put my money on it, I got to bet with the experience. I think experience is going to be a big key because Boston has a lot of playoff experience. They've been to a lot of Eastern Conference finals, but none of them never played in the finals. It's a different atmosphere. It's a different ball game. And Steph Curry, them been there plenty of times, and they know how to respond in certain moments. It's going to be a real competitive series. I don't expect no blowouts in any games. I think every game will come down to the last minute. But I think with Golden State having home court advantage and their fan base from the history of when they played Cleveland in them years and the NBA Finals, how that fan base is and how they play on their home court, it's going to be hard to beat them in San Francisco on that West Coast in the NBA Finals, man. So I got Golden State in 6 games. I got Steph Curry being the finals and getting his first Finals MVP award. And they got Boston as the favorite right now, because Boston, now everybody besides Al Horford, everybody is in their prime, you know, 20 years old, so especially Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. And I feel like if Jason Tatum was to knock off Steph Curry, that will be his start to being a superstar in the league, because if Jason Tatum was to knock off Kevin Durant and Kyrie in the first round, Greek the Freak in the second round, a good Miami team in the third round, and then knock off the championship DNA team with Draymond, Klay, and Steph Curry in the finals, that's a hell of a run to win your first ring. And experiences, Boston has a good coach, like a real good coach, but Steve Kerr is arguably the best coach in the NBA between him and Ty Lue. And I feel like that's going to become real crucial down the stretch when you're talking about drawing plays up, putting players in position to be successful 2-minute situations. So I think that Golden State wins in 6 games, and I expect Jason Tatum to have a good series, but I don't think it's going to be enough. The reason why I think Golden State is going to win is because not only the experience, but Boston has a couple games, even in the series that they won, where it has just come out flat, getting blown out by the shorthanded Miami team, getting blown out by Milwaukee. Like they looked it bad in a couple games, and Golden State, even though they got blown out that one game against Memphis by 50 points, this is the finals now. Everybody got their legs under them, and I don't expect Golden State to come out flat any of the games. But I feel like Golden State, this is going to be between this series and Memphis series as far as they toughest series this year in the playoffs, because Memphis was a real tough series, and Boston is going to challenge Golden State defensively, though, because they can switch everything. And I think Boston has the advantage in the front court because with Golden State only having one true big with Kevin Looney, he can't afford to get in foul trouble when they rotate three bigs, and two of them can shoot with Al Horford, Greg Williams, and then you got Robert Williams. It's a good rim protector. So we're going to see how that works with Steph Curry and Jordan Poole going downhill, see if they will be able to be successful as far as getting points in the paint. I think that Golden State three-point shooting and veteran experience is going to be the difference. But I feel like Boston can win a championship either this year or in the next 2 years. They're not far away. Like Boston is going to be a problem for the next couple years. Like they're not going nowhere. So, and Jason Tatum and Brown being mid-20s, they got a lot of basketball to play and a lot of chances at the apple, for them to get a ring. But I think this is it's a good matchup on paper. Like both of these teams match up evenly as far as, you got the wings. They got just as good as wings, the guard play. But just Golden State, man, I think, Steph Curry and Clay running off that ball, and then what make Golden State so dangerous. Now they just dangerous with Clay, Steph, and Draymond. You got Jordan Poole came out of nowhere. He can give you 20 to 30, and he is an animal, off the dribble. Like he's hard to stay in front of, and the Boston's gonna have to have someone to match him coming off the bench because I feel like he's the best player coming off the bench in this series. Like I don't feel like they have an answer for Jordan Poole, especially if they put Jordan Poole in the game at the same time with Clay and Steph. I feel like this is a Clay series. Clay's going to have to show up big. He's been kind of inconsistent in the playoffs, but he's had a couple good games. But I feel like the finals, he's going to show out. And I feel like Golden State is going to take it, man. Anybody disagree with me, man, get in the comments. Let me know what y'all think. I think that Golden State, man, they going to be around. Like, it's going to be hard to beat Golden State at their game. And I feel like Boston is going to try to play their game. Boston like to shoot a lot of threes. Boston is at their best when they keep it balanced, when they shoot just as many threes as twos. But if they try to get in a three-point shootout with Golden State, it's not going to end up well. It's going to be a lot of long rebounds. Steph Curry, them going to get early fast breaks, and Clay and other shooters going to get wide open shots. It's just not going to be an ideal situation for you to try to beat Golden State at what they do. For Boston to have any chance to win this series, we know they can play good defense, but the shot selection, they have to take good shots and they have to play well into the shot clock, play at a good tempo, don't play too fast, try to get a good shot every time down, and don't get in no up and down game with Golden State as far as taking bad shot and quick shots, because people don't found out in the previous years, like you can't beat Golden State at what they do. You have to do what you do best and do that at an elite level to beat them, because not saying that Boston's not good at shooting threes, but when you got two of the best shooters to ever play the game on the same team, you don't want to get into a shootout with those guys. And they got other guys that can shoot the three good too to space the floor. I feel like an X factor for Boston to even have a chance to beat Golden State, Jaylen Brown has to be on his A game. If he's not, they're not winning. And as far as Golden State X factor, it's going to be between Andrew Wiggins and Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole's going to have to stay consistent off the bench, just get bench points, and Andrew Wiggins, his defense is going to be critical because he played good defense on Luka in the Dallas series. Andrew Wiggins can either take Jaylen Brown or slow Jason Tatum down a little bit. He's not going to be able to stop him, but if he can make it a little difficult for him, then that's going to really help out as far as Golden State being able to win games in the series because Clay will have, his legs on the offensive end. But it's gonna be challenging because Clay gonna either have to guard, he gonna have to guard either Tatum or Brown or Smart or, and both of those guys, Clay, he's still getting back to form as far as like where he was defensively, but I feel like Clay will do a good job. And Steph, Golden State play good team defense, so they'll help Steph whenever they have to, but I just think, Boston just ran against the wrong team. Like if Boston was playing anybody else that came out the West, I would pick Boston. But since it's Golden State, it's just hard to go against that experience. And I feel like Golden State's going to win in 6. A lot of people thinking it's going to go 7. I won't be surprised if it went 7, but I think Golden State going to take them out of 6. I think how I think it's going to go, they might split in Golden State. They're going to split in Boston, and then they're gonna close them out in Boston. They're gonna win game 5, game 6. That's how I think it's gonna go. Steph Curry get his first final MVP. Everybody get off his back saying that he ain't got no finals MVP. And they roll to the sunset. He get his 4th ring. Draymond, everybody get their 4th ring. Be Andrew and Jordan Poole, them's first ring. And we'll be talking about Golden State as a dynasty again, them going on another run. I told people when Clay came back healthy, I said Golden State is going to win the West because it's hard to beat experience, especially when you play deep playoff runs. That stuff factors in a series because where people's going to be at, people's tendencies as far as your teammates, and you know what you have to do to win because you've done it so many times and you played against, the LeBron Jameses, the James Hardens, Chris Pauls. You win against all those type of players, Luka Doncic in the playoffs. So you playing Boston Celtics, ain't nothing going to surprise you. And I think the moment's going to be a little too big for finals because people show up to playoff games, but the finals, the biggest of the biggest show up. It's a big festival before every game. It's a real big deal. It's like 7 games worth of Super Bowls, in the finals. So, yeah, I think Golden State's going to win, and then Golden State still got a chance, if they win this year, which I think they will, to repeat next year. So it's going to be real interesting, man. But I think this is going to be the best finals that we've seen in a while because a lot of finals lately, they've been all right. They ain't been too exciting, but it's going to be a lot of exciting this year. And both of these teams really play defense. So I think we're going to see a lot of chippy plays. And I think Gary Payton Jr. coming back is going to be a real big deal because you could put Gary Payton Jr. on Jaylen Brown. He's a real good defender. He's supposed to come back game 1. And we know, what type of defense he was playing in that Memphis series before he got hurt. So Gary Payton coming back off that bench with Jordan Poole and those other guys coming off that bench, man, it's gonna get real chippy. But you got a lot of dogs on both teams, like a lot of two-way players in this series. It's gonna be a lot of trash talking. It's gonna be like some old school basketball to me. I don't think it's gonna be a couple high scoring games, but I won't be surprised if none of the games went over 110 points. Like I think there's gonna be that type of defense played. But let me know what y'all think in the comments as far as y'all predictions for the NBA Finals, and just and tell me how many games you you think it's going to be, and who you think going to win the Finals MVP. You know, I picked Steph to win the Finals MVP, and they're going to win in 6 games. I appreciate everybody supporting my podcast. And just feel free to drop any topic suggestions in the comments or DM me on Instagram at Air J the Great if you want to be a guest. And I appreciate everybody supporting me. And this concludes today's episode. And you guys have a good night.